A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a stunning turn of events, President Donald Trump has diverged from the established stance of Ukraine and key European allies following his recent summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska. The meeting, which took place on Friday, has sparked significant controversy as Trump endorsed Putin's proposal for a sweeping peace agreement that would require Ukraine to cede unoccupied territory to Russia. This move marks a departure from Trump's previous calls for an urgent ceasefire, raising eyebrows among political analysts and foreign policy experts alike. The summit concluded with Trump surprising many by aligning with Putin's demands, effectively sidelining discussions about an immediate ceasefire that Ukraine and its allies had hoped for. This pivot has drawn criticism, particularly as it comes at a time when Russian forces continue to gain ground on the battlefield in Ukraine. In the lead-up to the summit, Trump had expressed his desire for a ceasefire, stating aboard Air Force One, "I won't be happy if I walk away without some form of a ceasefire." However, following the talks, he took to social media to announce his support for a peace agreement that would prioritize comprehensive negotiations over an immediate cessation of hostilities. Trump tweeted, "It was determined by all that the best way to end the horrific war between Russia and Ukraine is to go directly to a peace agreement, which would end the war, and not a mere ceasefire agreement, which oftentimes do not hold up." This shift in strategy has left many questioning the implications for Ukraine, which has been fighting to reclaim territory lost to Russian aggression. European leaders, who had previously aligned with Trump's approach, are now faced with the challenge of reconciling their positions with the U.S. president's newfound support for territorial concessions. As the dust settles from the summit, President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine is set to visit Trump at the White House on Monday for further discussions. The outcome of this meeting will be crucial, as it could determine the future of U.S. support for Ukraine amid ongoing military operations by Russia. Zelensky's administration is likely to push back against any proposals that would require Ukraine to concede territory, emphasizing the need for respect of its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Political analysts have noted that Trump's endorsement of Putin's plan may provide the Russian leader with a significant advantage in upcoming negotiations. By sidelining the ceasefire discussions, Trump has effectively allowed Russia to maintain its military offensive while delaying any potential resolution to the conflict. In a follow-up interview, Trump acknowledged that while the meeting was productive, the question of whether Russia would agree to a ceasefire remains unanswered. "We had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left," he stated. However, the lack of concrete commitments from Putin has raised concerns about the viability of any agreements reached during the summit. The implications of Trump's shift have reverberated beyond the immediate context of U.S.-Russia relations. Domestic political reactions have been swift, with critics accusing the president of abandoning Ukraine in favor of appeasing Putin. This has led to renewed scrutiny of Trump's foreign policy approach, particularly in light of his previous criticisms of NATO and European allies. As the situation unfolds, the international community is watching closely to see how Trump navigates the delicate balance between maintaining relations with Russia and supporting Ukraine's fight for sovereignty. The stakes are high, not only for the region but also for the broader implications of U.S. foreign policy in an increasingly multipolar world. In the coming weeks, the focus will undoubtedly shift to the follow-up meeting between Trump and Zelensky, where the Ukrainian president will likely seek to reaffirm U.S. support for his country amidst ongoing threats from Russia. The outcome of these discussions may very well shape the trajectory of the conflict and the future of U.S.-Ukraine relations. As President Trump continues to navigate this complex geopolitical landscape, one thing is clear: the stakes have never been higher, and the path to peace remains fraught with challenges. With both sides entrenched in their positions, the question remains whether a viable solution can be reached that respects Ukraine's sovereignty while addressing Russia's territorial ambitions. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.